Columbia police officers are currently investigating 3 confirmed separate shots fired incidents. Good evening, I'm James Packard.
And I'm Khaki Martin. Overnight, Columbia officers were called to 3 separate locations over the course of 3 hours. KOMU 8's James Bender is live on the scene where the 3rd incident happened. James, what do we know so far?
Where I'm standing now is actually the last place that police were dispatched tonight. The 3rd shots were fire called on a busy night. It all started about 12:30 a.m. when police said they found, and quotes, a new bullet hole in the yard of a residence at Garth Avenue and Sexton Road. We cannot actually clarify exactly what the police station meant by this. The 3rd incident of the night happened at about 1400 block of Worley Street. Police said shots were fired near the location as well. Now, the 2nd incident of the night happened at about 1:40 a.m. in the 1900 block of Newton Road. Officers went there for a report of shots fired and found a house had been hit several times. Police say there were no reporters of injuries of the property damage at the first call on Garth Avenue. There were also no injuries at the second scene on Newton Drive. At 2:37 a.m., they were sent to Worley Street, where I am now. Now, all 3 of the incidents are under investigation. However, a 4th call was sent out to CPD and the Boone County Sheriff's Department, where they found out that nothing had happened on the scene. I am James Bender, live in Columbia, KOMU 8 News.
Hi, James. Thank you. A car crashed into a Jefferson City apartment building this morning. Jefferson City police say the driver fell asleep at the wheel while heading north on Ventura Avenue. Quincy Hickman drove the car through the front of one of the units. Police say no one was in the apartment, luckily. There weren't any injuries, but both the car and the apartment obviously were damaged, as you can see here when that happened.
This morning, Boone County and Callaway County residents rallied to save a historic bridge after its surprise closure last week. The 106-year-old bridge runs between county lines on Route 389 and is a crucial access point for nearby residents to access city centers. MoDOT closed the bridge last Friday after finding a critical fracture in its foundation. One 40-year resident who has lived on both sides of the county lines says he hoped the rally would get the attention of the bridge divisions in both counties.
We feel like our tax money is just as good as the guys in the cities. Out here, we pay the same tax base, and so that our tax dollars should be used to fix our road. And so that's my thought on it anyway.
Lindsay says the community has been working to apply for a federal grant which would pay for 80% of the repairs. Residents say their main goal is to have the bridge repaired as soon as possible. A Dallas police officer is recovering today after a shootout last night that left 2 others dead. The officer, who was in plain clothes at the time, was investigating an unrelated property crime when a shooting unfolded in front of him. The officer was shot in the foot but is expected to be okay. The suspect and another man died. A 3rd man involved in the shootings is in stable condition.
During the course of that investigation, an officer observed a shooting in progress. The officer confronted the suspect and was immediately engaged in gunfire. The officer returned fire, striking the suspect and halting the shooter.
And Black Lives Matter protesters took to the streets of El Cajon, California, demanding justice in a recent fatal police shooting. They blocked streets in the San Diego suburb, chanting, quote, "No justice, no peace." These protests have been taking place off and on since September 27th, when 38-year-old Alfred Orlango was shot and killed by police. Officers say Orlango was acting, quote, erratically and had refused to comply with their orders to remove his hands out of the pockets of his pants. There were no reports of violence or arrests at Friday night's protest.
The Chicago Police Department released graphic dash cam video this weekend showing a man allegedly high on PCP punching and body slamming Chicago police officers as they tried to handcuff him. More than 3 hours of footage was released. Trina Orlando has the story.
That's him?
A dash cam captured this video as police approached the suspect walking on the sidewalk.
I ain't playing with you, dude. I'm going to tase you in like 2 seconds.
The suspect resists arrest even as police officers try to place him in handcuffs. Moments later, a scuffle breaks out, the suspect throwing punches before grabbing the female officer's hair and pulling her to the ground. A closer look shows her head bouncing off the ground. Police say so hard she was knocked unconscious. The body camera of another police officer arriving on scene shows as he tries to pull the suspect from the huddle.
He's got to peel his head. He's not letting go. We're tasing him. It's not working.
Officers were eventually able to subdue the suspect, identified as 28-year-old Parta Huff of Maywood. Police say he slammed his car into a liquor store at Roosevelt and Cicero while high on PCP. Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the officer who was attacked at the scene thought she was going to die.
She knew that she should shoot this guy, but she chose not to because she didn't want her family or the department to have to go through the scrutiny the next day.
A thought apparently shared by others back at the scene.
The female officer involved remains hospitalized. Huff is charged with attempted murder of a police officer and aggravated battery to a police officer. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump suggested today that rival Hillary Clinton was on drugs during the last debate. Trump held a campaign rally in Portsmouth, New Hampshire today where he suggested both candidates should be drug tested before the next debate. During the rally, Trump addressed his plans for drug reform by cracking down on what he calls postal loopholes, making FDA rules less restrictive and increasing sentences for serious offenders. Then he made this suggestion for the next debate.
We should take a drug test prior, because I don't know what's going on with her. But at the beginning of her last debate, she was all pumped up at the beginning. And at the end, it was like, oh, take me down. She could barely reach her car. So I think we should take a drug test. Anyway, I'm willing to do it.
Trump also addressed the continued allegations of sexual abuse by women, calling them lies and phony.
Clinton is mostly staying off the trail to prepare for Wednesday's debate. She is mostly staying off to prepare in nearly every battleground state, and she appeared confident at a fundraiser on Friday.
If we do our job in 25 days, Donald Trump will stop being on the news every single day.
And we have warmer temperatures on the way. Let's send it over to Michael. Michael, do you think we're going to get any relief from this hot weather?
Thank you, Khaki, and good evening, everyone. Khaki, I don't know. We are pretty warm out there today as we take a look at the weather almanac. 82 degrees, 14 degrees above average for this time of year. Usually you like to be in the 60s by this point in October. We are at 82, and you can see temperatures right now across the area beginning to fall back as the sun is getting ready to set. On this Saturday, 75 degrees in Columbia, 77 in Boonville. As we take a look at winds, though, that's the other big story. 15 miles an hour right now out of the south, but take a look at current wind gusts, closer to about 24 miles an hour here in Columbia, and those are going to continue overnight tonight. As we take a look at the forecast for this evening, temperatures are going to get down only to about 69 degrees or so, so a very warm evening ahead, and some chances for rain are possible as well. We'll talk about that, and we can expect some cooler temperatures after the break.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. Halloween is almost here. Some are preparing by carving pumpkins.
See why a local organization is changing one popular fall tradition.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to KMU 8 News at 6. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Saturday out there, but let's talk about that weather. Temperatures awfully warm still out there today, reaching a high of about 82 degrees, but the other big story has been the wind. We saw wind gusts up near 30 miles an hour this afternoon, and that's going to continue for the next few days, along with that heat. And looking at our forecast facts, Monday we could be seeing record-setting temperatures with highs near 90 degrees for October, and then we'll also take a look at your next weekend homecoming forecast in a little bit. But again, heat wave. Let's talk about this. Tomorrow, we're expecting temperatures right around 85 degrees or so. The record is 86. But on Monday, again, 89 is the record, and I am expecting us to reach that 89-degree mark on Monday. But notice we do start to cool off considerably as we head towards the middle of the week with temperatures down in the 70s by Wednesday. So again, we can already kind of feel that warm air moving in right now. We are already 7 degrees warmer than what we were at this time yesterday. So still awfully warm out there, and it is going to continue for the next few days. But again, the wind is the other big story. Taking a look at our wind forecast, by 11:30 tonight, we can actually still see winds up near 20 miles an hour. Very rare for overnight winds to be that strong. And as we head in on the day on Saturday, maybe a little bit weaker, but still pretty breezy for us here on our Sunday. Winds up near 13 miles an hour or so by 5 p.m. And as we head into the day on Monday, check this out. Early morning wind gusts could be anywhere around 20 miles an hour or so. And that's at, look at this, 6 a.m., 14 miles an hour. So wind is going to be with us for the next few days, and those temperatures as we take a look at our satellite and radar. Some clouds moving in from the west, and those are going to be with us for much of tonight. And as we head in the day on Sunday, we are going to see decreasing clouds throughout the day, but still very strong winds from the south with a cold front off to our north. And that cold front is going to skate right across the northern part of the state. It is going to bring us some chances for rain, but mainly for our northern viewing area. So let's take a look at the timing of that with our precipcast. You can kind of see by about 10:30, maybe some light chances for rain. Again, nothing strong with the system. Just going to pick up on some extra cloud cover for the most part. And as we head throughout the evening, again, mainly for areas north of I-70, especially up towards Macon and Moberly, we'll get those best chances for some rain. But again, on Sunday, some decreasing clouds, some extra sunshine, and some warmer temperatures as well for our Sunday afternoon. Now looking at the forecast for the rest of tonight, again, we are going to see those temperatures fall back in really only into the upper 60s, 67 degrees. It's partly cloudy skies, and again, breezy conditions continuing as we head into the day tomorrow. Continuing again, wind gusts up near that 30 miles an hour. But look at that, 85 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow with those mostly sunny skies. And it's only the beginning. Again, a high of 89 degrees on Monday. A little bit cooler on Tuesday, 80 degrees, still well above average though. But we kind of see this kind of going down the stairs almost of temperatures. You can see 80 on Tuesday, 70 on Wednesday, 63 on Thursday, and then 60 by Friday. So we have some big changes in our weather pattern and a little back and forth.
Yeah. All right. Michael, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Coming up in sports, the Blues looking to make it 3 in a row against the Rangers.
Find out which rookie will be making their debut for St. Louis. It's coming up. It's not always easy finding a job you love. Some women attended a seminar in Columbia focused on easing the job search. The Changing the Odds Committee from the Columbia Chamber of Commerce put on the all-day event. Sessions throughout the day focused on resume building, interviewing skills, and networking. Today's event also aims to bring women together and empower them.
Women leave here feeling empowered to not just find a job, but find something that they really love, where they can grow, where they can start a career, and feel a lot of confidence about the direction in their life.
Committee members shared their own experiences in navigating through various jobs. Truesdale says she hopes the stories help the women know everyone faces obstacles at some point.
Autism is an issue some people might not know how to deal with, but today a Columbia nonprofit brought a little attention to the issue. Encircle Technologies hosted a gaming tournament today to show awareness of autism. The tournament has been going on since 9 o'clock this morning at United Methodist Church downtown. The game of the tournament, of course, Super Smash Bros.
We have this event because we know that our students would like video games rather than sitting at a banquet table. This is more like what they can participate in.
The winner of the tournament will win a grand prize of, get this, $2,000.
Pumpkins are typically orange, but for the past 3 years, the Bradford Research Center plants and harvests pink pumpkins for a special event in October. It first started a decade ago when Alicia Moreland's boss was battling breast cancer. Moreland decided to host a party to paint pumpkins pink to remind women to check for that disease. The Bradford Research Center decided to plant F1 porcelain doll pumpkin seeds, otherwise known as the pink pumpkins, and they harvested them.
I made it my mission to just try to remind ladies to get those mammograms. Everybody is busy, and we know October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but what does that mean? To me, it was there needs to be an actionable item.
Moreland says every Wednesday at her office is Check for a Lump Day to remind her coworkers to constantly keep checking. Bats were swinging today in Jefferson City during the second day of the Missouri Special Olympics. Teams flocked to Binder Lake Park. The sports of the day included baseball and flag football. One Columbia mother says Special Olympics are unique in that it reminds her of why we play sports in the first place, the pure enjoyment of it.
You don't have to worry about going to the game and worrying about the opposing team being the ones that cheat, or there's always the parents that you can barbecue with and stuff like that, and it doesn't matter where they're from.
The event runs through tomorrow until noon with a softball competition.
Coming up in sports, Mizzou football tried to make it interesting in the swamp today.
After the break, see if the Tigers could mount a full rally. Next in sports.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Why the hell?
Well, the last time Mizzou played a football game, they got crushed by LSU. And
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Well, the last time Mizzou played a football game, they got crushed by LSU, and that's putting it lightly. Fast forward to today, where the Tigers players and fans were hoping for a better outcome than 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about that. Drew Lock and company facing the 18th ranked Gators. Florida quarterback Luke Del Rio finally back, but doesn't play well either. Look at this pick here by Arian Penton. Del Rio not pleased with himself. The Tiger players love it. Mizzou finally gets good field positioning, and Drew Lock throws his best pass of the game to Tease Tabor of Florida. 39 yards the other way. Touchdown Gators makes it 13-0. And we'll move on here. Del Rio's thing, he's ecstatic. And here come the Tigers' next drive, and yep, there's another one of those little interceptions. Quincy Wilson, 78 yards with a stiff arm right there down the sideline. Florida leads 20-0 at the half. This one looks dead and over, but the Tigers started the second half strong. Here's a John Gibson interception. Gets them the ball, and they go all the way down the field here, and look who's going to score for this. The big man, Josh Augusta, all 370 pounds of him, gets into the end zone for the score. What a play. It made it 20-7, but the Tigers, they continue to struggle for the rest of the game. Tyree Cleveland gets a catch here, 20 yards to score. Tigers are down 33-7 late in the fourth quarter. Central Methodist football was back home today against the 13th ranked team in NAIA, the Missouri Valley College Vikings. The Eagles were 1-5 going into the game today, but still had upset on their mind. Eagles and Vikings from Davis Field in Fayette. Vikings start here first. The running back, Kenny Sanford, slips a little bit, but he's going to recover and runs it in for the score from 20 yards. Mo Valley up 7-0 early. Then watch this play. Little handoff to the receiver. He pitched it back to another receiver, and he's going to throw it to the quarterback into the end zone for the score. What a play for Missouri Valley. You can't script stuff like that. The Eagles would respond with a kickoff return for a touchdown, but their onside field goal attempt here to set up the next score fails. This will lead to another Sanford touchdown right here from 40 yards out. Missouri Valley goes up 40-13, and they win it by that score. The Blues have started strong this season, defeating two divisional playoff teams from last year in Chicago and Minnesota. Tonight, they welcome another playoff team, the New York Rangers, to the Scottrade Center. The Blues have won their first two games by a combined score of 8-4. Backup goalie Carter Hutton will get the start for the Blues in place of Jake Allen. He'll be posed by Henrik Lundqvist, one of the best goalies in the game. So it'll be a challenging one for the young Blues goalie. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. from St. Louis. And finally, something for you to think about here on the rest of your night. Recently, NFL players have had issues with the type of cleats they wear at the games. Last year, DeAngelo Williams wasn't allowed to wear pink cleats in honor of his mom who had breast cancer because it violated the NFL dress code. Then last week, Antonio Brown was threatened to be ejected if he didn't take off cleats with the image of Muhammad Ali on it. My question is this: why, NFL? Brown is just trying to pay tribute to a legendary athlete. What's wrong with that? And in Williams' case, it seems contradictory to make everyone wear pink in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but not let a player actually honor his mom with pink cleats. Maybe it's time for the league to ease up on its uniform policy and let players wear what they want. Otherwise, the league runs the risk of becoming the no-fun league. And that's your Sports at 6.
Now here's a look at what's coming up tonight on KOMU 8 News at 10. 3 people are dead after a shootout at a Los Angeles house party.
We're going to tell you what happened and where the investigation stands right now. Also, a lot going on the campaign trail this weekend, of course, and so we're going to get you caught up on everything that happened today. That's when we see you right back here tonight at 10. Michael?
Taking a look at the forecast for the rest of this evening. Temperatures not going to fall back too much. A low of only 67 degrees tonight. Some increasing clouds throughout the evening, though, and a chance for some rain, especially for our northern viewing area. Tomorrow, another warm day, a high in the mid-80s with windy conditions continuing, and they will continue Monday as well with warmer temperatures, a high of 89 degrees. Again, record-breaking heat for the beginning part of this week. By the time we get to next weekend for homecoming, temperatures back down in the 60s.
Dude, isn't it October?
I know,
cannot
right?
believe that.
What happened? When's that
winter
the peak
coming,
for
right?
foliage?
It should actually be this week or next week. So some dry time this week, warmer temperatures, windy conditions. You're going to see a lot of leaves blowing around for sure this week.
Find a good place to go hiking and take a look at the views out there.
Absolutely.
Are you a hiker?
Yeah, of course, especially in the fall.
You got to find some way to enjoy 89-degree weather.